Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I want to show you how to propagate Virginia Sweetspire. It's also known as Itea, and it is a very popular landscape plant. It's a native plant and it sends off these beautiful blooms that are fragrant, and in the fall it has amazing fall color. There's a lot of people who use them as landscape installations all over the place, so if you happen to run a home-based nursery business, then this would be a good one for you to have, possibly sell to your local landscapers who are in the area, because they may be looking for something exactly like this. So let me show you exactly what we've got going on. This little plant right here was one of three that I put into this pot, and it rooted in about 3 weeks. You can see here it's got a few nodes. There's a couple nodes below. I think I put 2 nodes in the soil, and then there's about 3 to 5 little ones up at the top. It's nice and healthy, and I'm going to take it out of the pot in just a second and show you what the roots look like. All right, so let's take a look at the inside. I'm going to gently kind of wiggle the pot, and so you can see the roots. Now this is a mixture of bark shavings and sand, as you can tell. There's some sand clumped around that cutting, and you can check out all those little roots. It is doing great. Now, why did the other two fail in this one? And I would say that it's probably my own fault in that I put them in a container and then covered it, and they didn't get enough airflow. So 2 of them started to rot, and this one did not. So it's the one I'm keeping here. So because I learned a little bit from that, what I'm going to do this time is I'm not going to cover them. They seem to root fairly well on their own, and I'm going to use a container just like this to root them. So basically right here I've got these little 2-inch pots that are in a little reservoir of water underneath there where the plastic is, and they will keep it nice and moist, but also give it some drainage so the roots and everything can get oxygen. Use a little bit of rooting hormone from Clonex, and all we're going to do is take some cuttings, dip them in the rooting hormone, and then put them into our containers. I'll probably do about 2 cuttings per container to make sure we have something growing in each one. Here's one of the plants that we've got there, and here's another one. So what we're looking for on these is a nice long straight shoot coming off the plant where we can get some good nodes. So on this one here, we'll come down about to there and snip that off. And check this out. And so what we've got where I cut it, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes. So for this cutting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off just below a node. We'll do a slight angle cut to it. And then we're going to just pick off the leaves. At the very top, I don't want the top terminal bud on here, so I'm going to snip that off just with my fingers, and I'm going to leave, let's leave about 4 leaves at the top of that. And so that's what I'm going to do for each one of these cuttings. Something similar. It may have to vary a little bit depending upon the type of cutting it is. I may have an extra node or 2, but it'll be basically like this. So we're back over here to our containers, and they are already wet. We already watered them. And so we're just going to take and dip it in the rooting hormone and then slide it in here. We'll try to do 2 per pot. And the last one I think I will just leave as 1 in that pot. And then we will firm down the soil around the cuttings so they have a good connection. And then we'll just keep them moist, and in a few weeks we should have some good rooting. And so we'll leave them in this pot. It'll probably take 3 to 4 weeks or so for them to actually root. We'll just make sure that they stay wet so they don't dry out. If it dries out, that can be the death knell, so to speak, for any cutting. You never want them to completely dry out. You also don't want to get too wet, because if the leaves stay wet, they can start to get fungal problems and stuff, and so you don't want to mess with that. So you got to watch them. You got to keep them kind of balanced. Sometimes putting a cloche on is good, but you need to make sure that they have plenty of airflow around them. So that's Itea. It's really easy. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks. So if this was helpful to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching.